Hello, hello, Janet and Jeffrey and Papa G, Beth Shaw, Kevin is who I see up there now. Guys, it's Friday. It's the end of the week. Let me take my glasses off my forehead. But it's the end of the week, and it's a time where we have a weekend coming up. It's a holiday weekend. Martin Luther King's birthday. Iraq is just coming off of holidays. And I've got a little bit of news. Guys, I don't have a lot. I mean, I could give you a lot of stuff. I could blow a lot of stuff up your wing wang, but I won't do that. But I will talk to you about what I do have. I will talk to you about what I feel is going to happen. And who knows, I might even tell a funny story. Sometimes them things come to me. So anyway, let's do the pledge, and then let's do the music, and then we'll get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Look at that. Look at that. I left for just a minute or two, and I come back, and now we got Ian Bell, and we got Bill Woods, and let's see who else we got. David Duffy. We don't need a second version. So It's starting to pick up in here. Ron Anderson's here. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I'm not trying to. I'm trying to see who all we got here. But anyway, guys, and we got expert 187. Is that one or exclamation point? Hello. So anyway, guys, with the children tonight, I have no idea what that is. But with the children tonight, we're going to keep it not fast, but just not really go all in. The kids, Super Jimmy, you kids are the backbone of what our world is going to be. Not just you kids here, but as I was talking to Julia in a letter this week, we got talking about her best friend's two kids and how they are going to be changing the world, how they will change their country, how, kids their age will do everything, And since Julia and her friend Masha both work in the school system, they're the ones that are getting these children ready. And see, the one thing about these two women is they believe, they're not closing their eyes. When some of the things we say, Jimmy, it's amazing. It's amazing for people to listen. But we need the children. We need you to listen. There's going to come a time we're going to need you. Patriot 11, Patriot, Princess our Queen, and Hunter. There's going to be a time that we're going to have to put down the cell phone. We're going to have to put down the baseball bat for a little bit, or softball. We're going to have to put down the hunting gear. We're going to have to and I'm not saying that because of you, Hunter, your name, but I did hear you do like to hunt. I believe Grandma told me that. But, it's just a situation. We're going to have to put this stuff down. The computers. Yes, you can get on the computers. And I'm going to tell a story about computers and tablets when I get to my grandkids. But Bugs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie, the 4 Bs, and thank you, John, for the picture the other day. We're going to need you guys to stand up and fight till the very end. But see, by the time you take over, by the time you're ruling, you're not going to have to stand up. It's going to all be taken care of for you. Because this class, this group of people here, groups of people all over that are not the greedy ones, the people that would open their eyes. Patriot Leona and Patriot Leland. The people that would open their eyes. Super Gymnast and Patriot 7. Super Gymnast now last night had her first volleyball game. And something was told to me that I didn't know. I see her practice, and for a 5th grader, she looks pretty good. Or 6th grader. She looks pretty good. I remember my daughter playing in 6th grade. I remember it costing me a lot of money when my daughter played in 6th grade because they won a tournament from a team that was supposed to be the greatest. It was like a nobody taking down Muhammad Ali. It was. And I made the statement, if you win this tournament, we're going across the street. And every one of you girls can have whatever you want at the Dairy Queen. There was 13 girls. Well, it hit my wallet pretty good, but we won the tournament. But that's not the point. She got to serve twice last night when she got to play. But the coach had took her aside when he put her on the team. And she's aside and with 2 other girls, and he said, you girls have a lot of potential. That's why I kept you. I cut 6 other girls. But if you guys girls work, you can be good. And my granddaughter, she's been working. She didn't start, but she was the first one in the rotation off the bench. She got to play quite a bit. She got to serve it twice, both of them across the net, and she got 1 point out of it. She also hit a couple back across that they couldn't return, and she made a couple more points. So I'm very, very proud of her. And then Patriot 7, I want to see if I can bring something up here real quick. I told you he had dress up day today at school. They got to go whatever they wanted to. And he went as Mike Ditka. For you guys that don't know, Mike Ditka was the Super Bowl coach for the Chicago Bears. And here's his outfit as Mike Ditka. And that's how Ditka would say the Bears. And then there's Patriot Small Hank. And Daddy, my son, is home with Small Hank tonight with little Kira. And little Kira was a total crap hole. I'm telling you, she would not listen. She would not listen. But Small Hank, he wanted him to practice his martial arts. And he just didn't feel like practicing it. He's been doing it for 3 nights this week. He wanted that night off, and his dad was fine with it. As long as he played with toys or watched a movie on TV with him, because his mom went away. Little Kira was just being a total butthole. And I mean, I'm laying in on my bed, the living room where he's yelling at her at, because he had made popcorn to watch a movie. And she was just she was. Anything she could do, and she was controlling my son. And then the little monkey, she told me on the phone last night, I know your birthday's coming up, and I know what I'm going to get you. Hey, One Voice. Karen, good to see you. So anyway, the whole point of this to my grandkids, I tell them all the time, there's going to come a time very shortly that you're really going to get to go to school. But it's going to be the school of how and what you're going to do when we're through. And I don't mean through leaving the planet. I mean when it's time for you to take over. Because if we try to turn it over to certain generations, why are we here now? It's all about money. It's all about greed, kids. So get ready, get prepared. Enjoy your weekend. I know here it's supposed to be really, really cold on Sunday. It's supposed to be possible snow and sleet. And that's when the Bears and the Rams play. And, you know, I said here a happy man tonight that they're still in the playoffs. And the whole thing is I'll be disappointed, but I'll be happy, kids. But I just wanted to talk to you kids and let you know you need to start preparing yourself to give some things up. You know, sometimes my grandkids will get talking to me. And when they get talking to me, they'll say, well, what games did you play? What do you mean, what games did I play? Well, when you was sitting and your mom and dad was watching TV, what kind of computer did you have? What kind of tablet did you have? Did you talk to your friends on a cell phone? I said, are you kidding me? We didn't even have a TV until I was in 5th grade. You know, a TV until I was in 5th grade. So yeah, we really didn't worry about things like that because you know what? We knew how to go outside and play. And to us, that was more important than anything else. And that's what you kids need to learn to do. So that concludes tonight's version of the kids. This video is not meant for you kids, but if you watch it, you can watch it under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music I played tonight is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. Also, the little video I played, I have no trouble playing that. The the Bears because that's my grandson. That's my daughter's video. And she told me, sure, use it and show him. So that concludes all of that. Now, where are we? What's going to happen? And I don't know. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our Telegram site, starting off the show tonight, because there's a man that made a post. See if I could bring it up. Oh, bear with me. Special bed cards. Aha. No, this post is not on the Hats Truth Social. He did post one a few months ago for one day, and then it was deleted. This is coming from Wolvie. Yay, that explains it. Well, it's a video that it talks about ordering your card, paying for your card, and all this and that. And I responded to this gentleman. Well, everything I read and studied and heard is the people who are promoting things like this is people trying to get you to buy cards. You don't need a card. You're going to go based on who needs to go first. Elderly, internal people who need it or they're going to die, whether you're young or old, and people who go to the Redemption Center with Zim. Then, after all of them are completed, it will open up to the whole world, I told him. And when it opens up to the whole world, then everybody will go. But they are 100% free. There is no need for a card. And his response was, my main point was, I said, if Wolvie has to post things that are not even on True Social, the Hats True Social, then how much of what he says can people even believe? I also seen today that the RV stuff has to be done by the end of the month. Now, how many times have we heard this? He's still keeping his positivity and putting stuff out that isn't, and is not putting stuff out that is not true. But when he does, he wants to give his opinion. And I love that. I loved it as much as I could love any post I've seen in a long time. Because that's the thing. Now, when he talked about Wolvie, and I'm not going to sit here and butcher Wolvie, but you watch a video with Wolvie. Hi, guys. It's a beautiful day, guys. Guys, it's going to happen. It's happening right now as we speak, guys. I have a contact that told me there's people already going, guys. It started this. Nothing can stop us now, guys. But, guys, I can't tell you no more because I'm on my 15th NDA. He's the only person I know that gets put under an NDA that never shuts up. I'm going to tell you, when I go under my NDA, when I go to the Redemption Center and I go under my NDA, Ron's not even going to know. And me and him have agreed to that. The only way Ron would know is if we leave the cell phones, the watches, everything here, and we go for a walk out in the country where there's absolutely nothing. And then I might tell him a little bit because I know Ron will keep the truth. But I can talk to him if I want because I will probably put him on the list because he's my partner. So I'll put him on a list and he'll know. But I've had my kids say, well, you'll tell me, won't you? Nope. Julia, she said, well, how will I know that, things are going in and I'm going to be able to come and see you? I said, if I go silent about talking anything about stuff like this after the 10 days of darkness, and she said, yeah. I said, once I go to the Redemption Center, me and her have picked out a saying. It's something no one would guess. Ron would, because I think I've told him. But we picked up a saying, and when I put it in the letter that I write her, and I want Ron to do the same thing, with people that he's talking to, and then all of a sudden you quit talking for a while. You try to educate the people right now and prepare them. I said something about 10 days of darkness. I don't believe it's not going to be 10 days of darkness. But the thing is, come up with something. But please, David, please, Janet, please, Bill Woods, anybody who is on here, One Voice, please, if you have currency, especially Zim, if you go under an NDA, pick the people you want to talk to. But I wouldn't pick more than one. 2 at the possible most. My brother Russ, I love him to death, but he's never been involved in it. With my brother Russ, whenever he sees me is when we're going to get our money. It's not, when are we going to make America great again? It's not, when are we going to do this and when are we going to do that? It's, when are we going to get our money? But if I was to tell him, and I was to tell other family members, there's certain people in my family that if you tell them, then they're going to tell their husband or wife. And we might as well just get out here with a megaphone, just driving all over the whole United States yelling, hey, and telling everybody. Someone has approached me on several occasions, people have, and he says, well, how are we changing if they're still controlling our money? I says, they're controlling our money until we can get settled in. Now, what is the answer to the NDAs? The answers to the NDAs is we go into the quantum financial system, the gold-backed standard, where all of our bills are paid off, where everybody is going to get money. And do you really think if myself, I get this money going to the Redemption Center and I come home and I decide I want to buy a new house? I let my son have the other house, which is going to be paid off by this anyway. He'll have this. My daughter has a house, and I'll get me a new house. Do you really think anybody's going to say anything if I spend a couple $100,000 on a new home if they're getting millions of dollars also? You don't think other people? But we have to look at it in a smart way, guys. And if you don't get anything out of this show tonight except what I'm about to say, we have to look at it in a smart way. You look at lottos. There's people that have won lottos $10, $15 million, and 5 years later didn't even have a home to live in. I'm not saying, I don't know about trust funds that much. I will learn. I don't know about all this other stuff, all these people we need in our corner. I will learn. But you have to learn how to control. Oh, David Duffy, Bill Woods, Janet. Anybody else on here that I missed? It's just you 3 here talking. There's more people here earlier, but seems like it's just you 3 talking. But anyway, you can go out, buy yourself that car you've always wanted. If you want a house, buy yourself a house. Now, when I talk to Julia, and when she comes over, if we really do hit it and we end up staying together, I told her I would have us a house, but we'd live there for about 5 years. And then over 5 years, we'd put together the house that wants to be our dream house. When you're talking about the redemption centers and you're talking about projects, if you have Zim, if you don't have a project, either tell them that pick one of theirs and tell them you don't want to work it, to have someone else work it, put the money towards something else. That way you still get what you're supposed to get. Or as I've told you, Patriot 5, Patriot 6, and family will be doing stuff. So you could tell them at the Redemption Center, and if you want to do this, I will provide you with our information, email addresses, phone numbers. You can tell them that you're going to be working if you need to call them, because you're going to get the money put in your fund, but what's going to be allotted for the projects would come over into a special fund just for them particular projects. And right now, I think we have 4 that we're talking about. Rebuild our town. That one is on me and Ron. That's one we're doing, just me and him. The other ones are the children, the kids, and the children, the animals. I guess you wouldn't consider this a project, but with the special beds, I want to make sure that they keep improving. So I want to set a fund up that first, in my town, we build a little special bed center. In the town 4 miles over, we build a little special. In all the little towns, because I've said this and I've said this many times, guys, in the little towns, and once everybody has been on the beds, One Voice, once everybody's been on there, 3 to 6 months later, I think everybody should go in for a checkup. I don't think you're going to need it, but you're going to have the doctors and nurses there anyway. They're going to have something to do. They can't just keep doing it, And I know a lot of people say, well, yeah, but a lot of the people, it's only 25, I'd say 22 to 35 or 36, 40. They're not going to get on them. And if they do, they're not going to get on the ones that take us back. They're still young enough. They can do that when they need to. And it's true. But see, I listened to an audio the other day. It was with Jared Rand. And to be honest with you, and Ron, if he was in chat talking, he would contest to this, and I'm telling the truth. Jared Rand is probably the person that got me and Ron really hyped about these special beds. We listened to this man. And back then, you couldn't go back nowhere near as far as what they're saying now. And back then, you could only go back one time. And now, but see, what if we just is it God's plan to just keep getting them better and better? So, if a couple $1 billion a year is going to research to do this after I get these centers built, or even while we're building them, that's another project. David, Janet, do you guys have any projects that you really want? One of them that's dear to my heart, yes, the beds are. My town is. But one of them that's dear to my heart is the children and the animals. That's 2 of them. Because I live in a small town. And someone will find out someone has a cat that just had kittens. Or someone will find out that someone had a dog that just had little puppies. And it doesn't matter if they're mixed breed, full breed, or whatever. But they're giving them away. So they're mixed. There's nothing wrong with a mixed breed dog. I've never had any in my life other than that. But that being said, the kids want that little puppy. The kids want that little kitty. And the parents give in to them. Let's shut them up. It's just like, hey, if I get on my computer, I'll be good. Let them on their computer. Let them on their tablet. No, put a boot up their butt and tell them you're going to do it the right way. Isn't that right, Cynthia Cole? But anyway, it's just these little animals, they grow up and they're still so loving and caring. But you see so many of them running the streets because when they become dogs and cats, more so cats than the dogs. The dogs they usually keep, but the cats, they just boot them out the door. They don't care. I have 6 cats at my house right now. The reason I had them is because they got stuck down in Ron's crawl space, and me and my son went down into the crawl space at about 10 o'clock at night, about 9 o'clock at night, looking for them, and we found them. We had to run from there to Walmart that night to get baby milk for them, and I bottle fed 6 cats until they was old enough to eat, because people just threw the cat out. The mama cat had babies, and then the mama cat disappeared. And I really want to work with the animals, but my goal is to find and this is a lofty goal, guys. This is one that could run, if I'm going to be around for 100 or 200 years, we could still be running it when this happens. Every child needs a parent. And I'm not going to go into whether it's a man and a woman or a woman and a woman. I don't care. I want loving parents, whether it's 1 or 2 or just 1. I want these kids to know they're loved, the ones that are still in the orphanages. The one thing I want to stop is this, letting a kid go live with somebody. The people say they'll take them in, and then they get treated like crap, but the people's getting this however many hundreds of dollars a month for these kids. We have to stop that, and then we have to get every kid a parent or 2. And boy, wouldn't it be great if they could even come up with grandparents too. Imagine a look on a kid's face, and it was 10 kids found in a tunnel here just yesterday. Hallelujah to that. Give me an amen. I've always wanted to say that. I'll see how many of you do. But there was 10 kids that was found. It's getting crazy out there, guys. It's getting stupid out there. Thank you, David. Thank you, One Voice. It is. It's getting stupid the way things are doing things. This one lady in Minnesota, this Umar, I mean, to me, they should, I don't give a rat's behind what people say. Someone should just take that woman, put her on the next boat, plane, or whatever, and get her out of this country. She has no right. There's rumors that she literally brought in thousands of people just to vote in Minnesota so she'd get elected. It is terrible. It is terrible. But yet someone like me or you, David, if we go out and break one little law, they want to throw the book at us. I'll tell you a quick story about breaking the law. When my daughter, I was talking about volleyball. When my daughter was playing volleyball in the 6th grade, she had a game that night. I was in town. I had to go pick my ex-wife up. Ron was with us. And we're parked. Me and Ron are at a stop sign, stopped behind 5 other cars. The light turns green. The first one goes, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. I followed the 6th. I just drove right with them, stayed 2-3 car lanes behind, just like everybody was doing. First one goes by this one corner, next one goes by this one, next corner, next one, and they just keep going. I go by it, and all of a sudden, a what? I pull over, and the guy comes up and says, "You know what I pulled you over for?" I said, "No, I don't. You were speeding." I said, "Well, there was 5 cars that I was driving right with it. I was just behind back there at the corner by the Dairy Queen. If I was speeding, they had to be speeding, because if I was speeding and they weren't, I'd have run up their butt." And you're a smart ass. Excuse my language, but that's what he said. And I said, "Well, no, I'm not." Boy, he got my registrations and license. He went back. The next thing I know, guys, I am surrounded by 15 different cop cars. The one that drove right next to me to really trap me in so there's nowhere I could go. The man gets out and he walks over and said, "Sir, do we have a problem?" And I said, "Oh, I recognize the officer. The Saturday night before that, I went to a dinner dance out at one of the restaurants in town for our company that I work for. And he was the police officer on duty. And he walked me and my ex-wife to the car to make sure we were safe because it was not a safe area. And we stood out there, and instead of going home so I could go home and get some sleep, I had to be up at 4:00 in the morning to go to work. Instead of doing that, we stood out there and talked to him for almost an hour. We could have stayed at the party. But I tell you, it helped me. But I got the ticket. But when I went to court, I paid it before I even went in. But I got my say. And the judge knew, and he said, I know you're innocent. But see, the police, now here's what's bad about situations like this, guys. He knew the police officer showed up in court that day. Didn't talk, just showed up. By showing up, they had to pay him $50. Is that a racket or is that a racket? But they say all good things and all bad things always have consequences. Well, here's what happened. I paid. I left, and about 3 weeks later, I'm driving on another road in that town. Huh? Different car. And I'm driving along, and we're reaching this intersection right by the YMCA. And it is flooded. Water line main had broke, and it is flooded like you wouldn't believe. And to get through it, you had to go about 5 or 6 miles an hour. And I seen this police officer out there waving people. I go to Ron, oh, that's the guy that gave me the ticket. Our eyes met. We smiled. He said, you're not going to, are you? I slowed down and slowed down even more. I let the people get ahead of me a little bit. And about the time I got close to him, I gunned my car. I went through that water. I threw water 50 feet in the air. He got drenched. My brother-in-law was also a police officer at the time. He was just starting his duty when this guy come back to change his uniform. And he was mad. And my brother-in-law says, what's wrong? What happened? Some smart, what he would call me, things you said on, just drenched me. He deliberately picked up speed to drench me. My brother-in-law right then knew it was me. Within 5 minutes, he's calling me and he says, did you have fun? I said, you better believe it. But, nothing. There's always a chance to get even. And I know you guys like my stories, and that's why I told it. Now, we need to get into the show, but I apologize for rumbling and rambling. Let me see here what we got here. I know Ron's got me a few things, and I just got to find them. Okay. Here's something that I got that was sent to me by Savior. And it's a picture, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it's two like little handheld clocks. And on both of them, it says 119. What is Monday? I believe Savior seems to believe that is there because they're trying to tell us something. Now, I'm going to go a little bit step further about 119 being Martin Luther King's birthday. Banks will be closed. Kids will be off of school. Hi, Lisa Pritchard. But anyone here who's ever listened to anybody doing shows like this, I'm not going to mention names, but anybody. How many of you heard, especially Charlie Ward? Charlie Ward has always contested, as several other ones have too, that this is going to happen on a holiday weekend. Well, this is the last holiday weekend for a while.
Once they count your birthday.
Huh?
Unless they count your birthday coming up.
Ron says unless they count my birthday, but my birthday I don't know when it is, to be honest with you.
It's on Wednesday.
It's on a Wednesday, so that's not a weekend. It'd be a long weekend if it do it like that. But I found that interesting. Now, one guy made a comment here, stock market is closed on Monday the 19th. So will silver take off Sunday night when the Asia London market opens up? Well, I don't know if you guys seen it, and maybe I dreamt it. But I thought I seen, was it today or yesterday, where silver was up to $91? Well, if the banks can't control their paper silver, and they're going to be closing when it was at 70, oh my goodness. For all of you that bought silver, congratulations.
I heard it's going to go up to about $300.
Ron's saying he heard it's going to go up to about $300. I think we need to get things going before we worry about silver. Here's something. A major cyber attack has hit Iran today, impacting the central bank and many other national banks. People are currently unable to withdraw money from ATMs. The ATMs are displaying messages that say you can't withdraw your money because it was used by the Iranian government for terrorism and wars. Sounds to me like the Iranian people are very upset, and they have all rights to be. Breaking something big coming. The Hat and Vladimir Putin are going live. Now, I don't know if you guys, anybody seen this. I forgot about it myself, and I don't even know if it happened. But it says, people, the time has come. The Hat and Vladimir Putin are here to reveal everything that the deep state was hiding from the world. The Hat assassination attempt, WW3, UFO, open talk about Sleepy, the Ukraine, and many more. I clicked on many more, but it didn't do it. Find out everything of the most important live stream ever, Friday, 1800 hours Eastern time, 08. Okay, no. I have no idea why someone posted that, because I didn't read all the way down. They said that was supposed to be happening on 8/3/2024. I guess, well, disregard that, guys. That was my blooper of the night. TNT Tony Part 2, the rates are not on the teller screens, but they are at the banks. Tony got a report just now that the U.S. citizens military have been having their exchanges done, but everyone is expected to go on Friday. It depends on what happens tonight and tomorrow in Iran. It also depends that their response to what happens, what will be their response. They may not be able to respond at all. That is the new plan. The rate on the Venezuelan Bolivar may be based on the Digitel's rate rather than the Sobrano rate. Argo checks are going at a higher rate than we were ever told. Venezuelan cooperating. China and Russia will not get involved in this. Israel will be fighting on 3 fronts. There will be a huge number of casualties. All the rates are good, and we are really close. Well, since we're talking rates, we've been told over the past month the dinar is going to be very high, and we've been told around anywhere from $17 to $26 if you get the contract rate at the redemption center. We've been told that it could go as high just for regular people like us at around $10. And now, they're talking that the dong is very high. But since this has happened in Venezuela and everything is clearing up there, they're saying what I just heard, the Venezuelan Bolivar will be the highest one on the board. Now, if you remember, if you look back, and anybody who remembers a couple years ago when I started talking about the Bolivar and how great of investment, I mean, at that time you could buy Bolivar for next to nothing. And you could get these for next to nothing, and you could get them in $1 million notes. You could also get the Argo checks and things like that, of which we picked up some of them, but we concentrated around me on the Bolivar. Now, I had a person call me the other day and told me that she just purchased 1,000 $1 million notes, and now they're coming out saying that the Bolivar could go anywhere from $18 to $25 per 1 million note. Guys, what I'm trying to say here, and I am not a financial advisor. I'm just Ralph. I'm just Patriot 5. I'm just a guy that comes here 3 nights a week to try to help everyone. But if you would have just bought one note back then, and I want to tell a story about one note. There used to be someone on our show who tried to take the show away, and we kind of sent her packing. Well, she started her own show. And one of the guys, and I'm not going to mention his name, I really liked him. I thought he liked us, but he decided to follow her. And one night somebody called me and said, Ralph, you got to get on and listen to her show. And I can honestly tell you, it's the only time in my life I ever did. I didn't want to have no more to do with her. We washed our hands and we're moving forward. So I went on and I listened to her. And she had a special guest, and she had this guy that used to be with us. And what he did is he went out and bought a bunch of Bolivar. He bought 100 $1 million notes. 100 $1 million notes. And there was about 100 people on that night. So they didn't have to really pull out of a hat. Everyone was going to get a $1 million note. Send the address to the lady, their address, and she was supposed to send it. Now, I do not know if there's any truth to this, but I heard she all of a sudden disappeared for almost a year, and I heard that she never gave one of them away. You know, if this is true, and I'm not saying it was, I can't see how she would have someone so nice to do something for her group. But just imagine if she give them 100 people a $1 million note and they go in and they get 18 million. What if they get 15 million? What if they get 5 million? This is life-changing money. And people say, well, yeah, but I know the quantum financial system is going to happen. I know we're going to get our money. I don't want to trust and throw my money away for this. And I accept that. That's why I tell everybody, I'm not a financial advisor. If you want my opinion, I'll give you my opinion. So I'm going to do the Restored Republic now. And then we're going to just call it a week.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe. Unless something hits.
Unless something hits, then we'll come back, as Ron says. And we have 111 people right now. 111. Restored Republic of this day today. Judy's disclaimer. Please do your own. Be careful of scammers. Prepare for 10 days of darkness anytime soon. Banks close. ATMs won't work. Mainstream media goes dark. Have 2 to 3 weeks food, medicine, water, cash, essentials on hand. Judy note, not surprisingly, former U.S. president, you know who it is, BC and HC failed to honor their subpoenas to testify Wednesday. I did see a live broadcast where the people were talking that they are going to subpoena them or whatever, that they could be in a lot of trouble. but it's for the congressional hearings on the many charges related to crimes against humanity and treason. Criminal charges have been filed against them in contempt of court. They could also be charged with bank rolling corrupt foundation with the help of trafficker J.E., laundering tax dollars through shady NGOs, selling access to the U.S. government, and while T, a lot of blanks, G, weapons, drugs, and children's. President the Hat was said to be assigning a special judge for this case. Famous whistleblower Edward Snowden stated over 100 people who have mysteriously passed away under bizarre circumstances all have ties with the HC and BC family. Some of those alleged victims are JFK Jr., Vince Foster, Seth Rich, and Mark Middleton, just to name a few. What appeared to be chaos on the streets was said to cover up a silent transfer of power where global banking financial system was being rewired for the restoration of sovereign republics worldwide. There would be no public announcement on the global currency reset There would be no public announcement that a global reset has started Sunday, 1 February 2026. Permission to be in the new gold-backed asset financial system will have to be determined and approved by individuals. I do not believe that at all, so I'm not going to continue reading it. Everybody, I believe, will be notified. The corrupt will have no opportunity to participate in the new system. Meanwhile, high-level arrests continued to accelerate across the globe, while sealed indictments unsealing at a furious pace, and a military tribunal delivery swift justice for crimes against humanity. The quantum financial system was now fully operational worldwide, ushering in the greatest wealth transfer in history. The RV has launched in phases, backed by gold and precious assets, forgiving debt under Big N, Big G, and restoring economic sovereignty of people. Debt jubilee erases burdens accumulated under the fiat system, while the QFS ensures transparent, secure transactions free from global interference. The divine reset relocates seized trillions from corrupt entities back to humanity, fulfilling promises of prosperity and abundance for all who have endured. Redemption centers stood ready with Tier 4B notifications following exchange appointments, accelerating for those holding Iraq dinar, Vietnamese dong, Zimbabwe notes, and other revaluing currencies. On Sunday, 1 February 2026, redemption centers would be open to the general public to set up their wallets, bank accounts on a new Starlink system. Special beds were poised for mass rollout following final disclosure, offering miraculous healing to restore bodies ravaged by toxins, injuries, and age. Emergency broadcast system activation drew near by the hour. The mainstream media was expected to go dark amid the 10 days of darkness. Military National Guards remain deployed to maintain order, providing essentials. Banks will temporarily close and normal life pause for necessary cleansing. Possible timing. There was a 5-day rollout for the Global Currency Reset Redemption Center appointments to exchange foreign currency and redeem bonds starting Monday, 19th January, and go through Friday, 23 January. Tier 4B, Us the Internet Group, was expected to be notified for redemption center appointments to exchange currencies and redeem Zim bonds. Remember when I was reading something and I said, I'm not going to read that because we will be notified? Right there, it just said it. On Tuesday, 20 January 2026, the 10 days of darkness may start, triggered by a CABAL nationwide cyber blackout, media, radio, networks, and phone communications shut down simultaneously. On Wednesday, 21st January 2026, martial law could be declared. Black Hawk helicopters have been conducting drills in Washington, D.C., signaling readiness for martial law enforcement. At the same time, on Wednesday, 21st January 2026, global activation sequence could begin, and the new financial system with BRICS Alliance going live alongside Big N, Big G implementation and full rollout of the quantum financial system. Sunday, 1 February 2026, redemption centers open worldwide under military security to set up the new global financial system, GFS wallets, formerly known as bank accounts for the general public, and the new secure Starlink satellite system. FBI Director Kash Patel. What we think we know is of Friday, 16th January 2026, Thursday, 15th January 2026, Fox News. The United States is rapidly redeploying the entire USS Abraham carrier strike group out the South China Sea and steaming full speed toward the Middle East as the U.S. prepares to unleash a major strike on Iran. Thursday, 15th January 2026, Iran streets lined with dead bodies. Friday, 16th January 2026, Fox News. The DHS is sending this message out to all ICE agents from Stephen Miller to all ICE officers. You have federal immunity in the conduct of your duty. Anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop or tries to obstruct you in committing a felony, you have immunity to perform your duties. January 16th, 2026, Scott Pezant just confirmed there are tapes of Minnesota Democrat AG accepting political donations to stop investigations into SOMAILI fraud. Wednesday, 14th January, the hat. I've never got over the fact that Obi sent $1.7 billion in early 2016, around the time Iran nuclear deal JCPOA went into effect, allegedly to resolve an arms deal that was canceled before the revolution of the 1979. Cash was used to deliver the funds. The Department of Justice, FBI, nor Congress never opened an investigation. Global currency reset Thursday, 15 January 2026, the big call. Bondholders had meetings yesterday and today in Switzerland, Reno, New York, California, Miami. There were issues of people trying to impersonate other people. Bond paymasters were presently paying out into their accounts. They expected to get access to the funds over the weekend. Early this morning, the RVGCR initiated to where it could be reversed. There is a 5-day rollout starting Monday, 19 January, going through Friday, 23 January. Tier 4B, the internet group could get appointments to exchange around Tuesday. The adjudicated settlements, farm claims, Indian claims, etc. of Tier 4A were receiving funding as of tomorrow, Friday 16th. Exchange rates are higher on the redemption center than they are in a bank. There would be 31 currency in the new rates of the redemption center screens by Monday morning. Thursday, 15th January 2026, what you see on the news is a show. The real switch is happening off screen. Big N, Big G, QFS secrets on Telegram. Legacy structures are being emptied while the public is distracted with political theater, protest, and scripted crisis. What looks like a chaos on TV is cover for a silent transfer of control and behind the scenes. That's pretty much it. Boy, did I time that one just about right. That's pretty much it, guys. Hi, Gary. Good to see you. Anybody else new on here that I missed? If I missed you, I didn't mean hi, Robert Ford. Good to see you. Guys, I believe we're in for exciting. Guys, we ought to all give a thumbs up to Robert Ford. This is a man that is like 6 hours ahead of us, and he comes on this show. So right now he's looking at like 2 a.m. And for him to come on, I give you a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. And I enjoy talking to you. We need to chat a little more sometimes. But anyway, guys, I believe we're right there on the threshold of greatness. I believe we're right there to witness the greatest transfer of currency and in the world ever. But it's not just the currency. I believe the freedoms, the love, the joy, and everything that we've always wanted is right there. Thank you guys for all the thumbs up for him. See, Robert, your love for coming on. Hey, One Voice. Lady Nita, good to see you. Gary. Some of you, I might have mentioned your names twice, but guys, I'm going to go now and I'm going to sit down and I get something to eat. My voice is getting scratchy. My throat is getting a little tender. So barring anything happening, I will see you Monday night. If something happens, I will see you as soon as it happens. Anybody gets anything good, share and share alike, and we can all get through this together. Keep your vibrations up. Have a great weekend, and go Bears. Good night. God bless. We love you all.